Oversight. Congressman Brandon Gill. Congressman, what do you make of this story? Congressman.
Well, listen, thanks for having me on. You know, John Brennan is somebody who led the weaponization of the federal government against President Trump. He lied before Congress. He said that the CIA did not want to use the Steele dossier as part of its intelligence assessment that formed the baseline for the federal government going after President Trump. Come to find out, we have found out since then that it was himself who actually signed off on using the Steele dossier. He lied before Congress, and he ought to be held accountable.
So that Steele dossier was funded by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC. It's anti-Trump opposition research that's been debunked. So let's go through it. House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan referred John Brennan to the DOJ, saying the former CIA chief willfully and intentionally lied to Congress in his 2023 House Judiciary testimony. He's accused of denying that the CIA used the debunked, discredited anti-Trump Steele dossier in that 2017 intelligence community assessment for then President Barack Obama on Russian interference, and that he also claimed the CIA opposed, including the dossier in that. But he has a long litany of accusations against him that he's repeatedly been lying to Congress even before that. That's what the news reports show.
Well, that's exactly, both he and as head of the CIA and over at the FBI have been lying repeatedly about what was going on under the Obama administration and under the Biden administration, by the way. And they ought to be held accountable. Listen, the American people want to know that those at the highest levels of government are going to be held accountable the same way anybody else in America would. That if you lie before Congress, you're going to be indicted.
Let's move on to this. Let's get your reaction to Senator Lindsey Graham. He spoke on new evidence that has surfaced in the federal criminal case of James Comey, accused of lying to Congress and obstruction. He faces a January 5th, 2026 trial date. Watch this.
I never believed that you would get, if you're the FBI director and you get an investigative memo from the CIA that Hillary Clinton is trying to tie her opponent, Donald Trump, to Russia, that wouldn't ring a bell. Now, what do we know now? We now found in a safe in a very remote area in the FBI, James Comey's notes 3 weeks later, dated September the 26th, 2016. In the note, he says, James Brennan, JB, HRC planned to tie Trump. In his own handwriting, we now know that he was briefed that Hillary Rodham Clinton planned to tie Trump 3 weeks after the briefing. So we got it in his own handwriting.
So let's go through that. Let's show the handwritten notes dated September 2016 by James Comey, indicating he was aware of intelligence that Hillary Clinton planned to tie Donald Trump to Trump Russia. It reads HRC or Hillary Clinton planned to tie Trump. This is about prosecutors substantiating the federal charge of lying to Congress and obstruction. It's about establishing a pattern of him lying about this in his recollections and his testimony to Congress. Go ahead, Congressman.
That's exactly right. And every day we're learning more about what was going on. We're learning more about how deep this weaponization, how deep this corruption was under Biden, under President Obama, and they ought to be held accountable. That's all that's happening here. All that's happening is accountability for people at the highest levels of government who weaponized the federal government against their political enemies, and they ought to be held accountable for it.
The operative word is he used the word plan. So he knew about the plan. Yep. He knew about the plan ahead of time. That's what's key here. Congressman Brandon Gill, thank you so much.